guys, we're picking fresh golden gooseberries, and we went out fishing this morning and we caught some really nice trout. So we're gonna pick these fresh golden gooseberries. You can see how beautiful they are, and we're gonna make a sauce for our fresh trout we caught out of the river this morning. We don't need too many of them. Maybe just like a quarter of a cup of them is about all we're gonna need. But these are grown wild in Bear Lake, and they're along a lot of the fence lines, and there's very few places I've ever found golden ones. The red ones and the black ones are really common, but the gold ones just aren't that common. And the neat thing about currants, you guys, is if you like lemon or capers on your fish, the golden gooseberries have some citrus in them, so they're a lot like a lemon or a caper, and they're absolutely wonderful on the fish. That's all we're going to need. That's our score of golden gooseberries. You can see how beautiful they are, and they're going to be really delicious on those fish. Going to be way yummy. So we're going to go clean some fish and show you a new technique now of how we like to clean our fish. And we're going to go do that right now, and we'll share it with you guys. Alright, you guys, we went and caught some beautiful trout this morning out of a wild river. And I wanted to show you a really neat technique how to clean these that maybe a lot of you guys have never seen before. And when you clean these, it'll give the fish a lot more flavor, and it'll take some of the bones out of them. And then the fish, you'll end up with the meat that will suck in the flavor if you don't happen to like a trout skin. So let me show you how I do this, you guys. So first I'm going to cut the tail off, you guys. And then I'm just going to clean them how all of us normally do. And you cut through the gills. And then you start right at the tail end, and you're going to come up through the bottom of the fish. And then you just stick your thumb down in here, and you're going to pull all the guts out. And then I like to give them a good rinse. And then this is the neatest thing that I really like to do with these trout, is you just grab under their chin right there, and you pop it, and then you stick your thumb right there, and then you just kind of like a banana, and then that skin just pops right off of that fish. And look how beautiful that orange is. And then if you turn the fish over and you just run your thumb down both sides of that bone right there, and that bone and all that fat pops out of that fish, so you lose a lot of the fishy flavor if you don't like the fishy flavor. And then you can turn them over and do the same thing with this back fin, and it just pops right off. And then you end up with a beautiful fish. And when you cook the fish, you're just going to grab this bone right here, and it's just going to pull right up, and you're going to end up with 2 fish fillets. And it's going to be beautiful because all your flavor is going to be in there, and you've got rid of a lot of the fishy flavor inside the fish through the back. And that's kind of a neat trick that I really like to do. And anyway, check that out, you guys. You can do it on little fish or big fish, and it works absolutely wonderful. And you just end up with such a nice piece of fish for to cook up. And we're going to cook them up tonight with some fresh currants we just picked, and we're going to have a wild trout dinner with some wild currants on top, and it's going to be pretty darn awesome. So you guys, I've got my wild trout, and I've got some wild currants, golden currants and black currants, some dill, got a few beans out of the garden, some garlic and some green onions, and some yarrow. And what I'm going to do with all this stuff is I'm going to make a sauce out of it. And over here I've got about 3 tablespoons of mayo, and I'm going to add all of this fresh stuff into the mayo. Currants, pretty much everything is going to go into here. Green onions, garlic is going to go into there, little dill, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon, about 1/2 of one slice in there. And then what I'm gonna do is stir all this up. And I put a little black pepper or your favorite seasonings in there, and I'm gonna make kind of a glaze out of this for this fresh trout. And so I'll give that a good stir. Then I'm gonna take this fresh trout that we showed you how to skin yesterday, and we're gonna put it in the frying pan. Then I'm gonna go ahead and use my fingers. What I'm gonna do is just glaze this fish with all this yummy fresh wild stuff. It doesn't get any better when you got a wild trout and you got wild stuff to go on it. So I'm going to glaze this fish, and I'm going to stuff some in his back cavity where I showed you how to take all that fat and stuff out of him. So anyway, I've got the fish pretty glazed. Now I'm going to start the cooking process, but I'm going to cook him with some fresh veggies from the garden. I've got some tomatoes, and I've got a few zucchinis, and I've got a few fresh purple beans, some more garlic and scallops, and I'm going to cook some black currants with him, along with some golden currants with him. And then I'm going to start the cooking process, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter in it. And after I get it cooking, I'll show you how to debone that fish like I was telling you in the video yesterday. Anyway, it's looking like a pretty yummy lunch to me. So anyway, I'll get it cooking, and then I'll show you guys how to debone it, and I might even show you how to eat it. Alright, you guys, here comes the fresh trout with fresh wild golden currants on it. So you guys, I've been cooking this fish for about 5 minutes on each side, and everything's ready. And anyway, I'm going to show you how to pull this bone out. It comes out really easy, and then you're going to end up with nothing but a pure fillet of boneless fish. So I just grabbed the tail piece right here, and if you just kind of shake it, it's going to come off the top and bottom. And then there's all your bones, so you're just going to throw them away, and then you end up with this beautiful fish. And I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm just going to go ahead and plate it and put it on my favorite plate. And there's actually quite a bit of fish in one single fish. So I'm going to plate all that beautiful fish up, and then I've got some wild currants. I'm going to put a few on the side, and I've got some wild herbs for the top of the fish, and that looks pretty nice. Then I've got some zucchini and some tomatoes. We'll put that on there. Let's get a couple more tomatoes. And I'm going to put those on there. Then I've got my green beans with my black currants. And we're going to go ahead and put those right on the side with another tomato. Then my favorite part of this fish is I'm going to take the rest of these golden currants, and I'm going to garnish this fish with these golden currants. And they're going to give it a little citrusy flavor, along with a lemon or whatever else you like. And anyway, there's your wild trout, some wild vegetables, wild golden currants, and looks like a pretty yummy lunch to me. Anyways, hope you guys like this recipe. Give it a try. It sure makes your trout wonderful, and it makes it worth spending a day in the outdoors and going and catching a few. Anyway, big smiles to all you guys. I hope you like this dish. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna maybe show you how to have a bite of it here in a second. Well, I finished my fresh fish dinner with wild currants on it, and I just can't help myself. I just got to take a bite of it, show you guys how good it is. Anyway, here it comes. There's a lot of work gone into this dish, but it was a great experience in the outdoors, and got to catch some fish, pick some wild berries, cook a nice meal, and enjoy it. So here it comes. Oh my goodness. You should taste that trout with those wild currants on it and all the vegetables. It's pretty dang awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed my recipe. Hopefully I can do some more for you. It sure is fun. Big smiles from me to you. I'm going to sit down and eat my lunch now. Have a nice day, you guys.